I already mentioned in the previous video of Judges 16, where we wrapped up Samson, that the 5 chapters were coming into Judges here. This is rough territory. Of course, honestly, the whole book of Judges, it's rough territory. These aren't high moments in Israel's history. All that went on with the Exodus and whatnot, and with Joshua, and here we see throughout this book just a lot of mediocrity, a lot of ups and downs, and it's like people recommit to the Lord until they're okay, and then they get involved in idolatry, and it's unfortunately for us not a lot unlike us. But these last 5 chapters, there's just some brutal stuff in here. So today's chapter is chapter 17. It's a short one. We read, "There was a man from the hill country of Ephraim named Micah. He said to his mother, 'The 1,100 pieces of silver taken from you that I heard you place a curse on, here's the silver. I took it.' Then his mother said, 'My son, may you be blessed by the Lord.' He returned the 1,100 pieces of silver to his mother, and his mother said, 'I personally consecrate the silver to the Lord for my son's benefit, to make a carved image and a silver idol. I will give it back to you.' So he returned the silver to his mother, and she took 5 pounds of silver and gave it to a silversmith. He made it into a carved image and a silver idol, and it was in Micah's house. This man Micah had a shrine, and he made an ephod and household idols, and installed one of his sons to be his priest. In those days there was no king in Israel. Everyone did whatever seemed right to him. There was a young man, a Levite from Bethlehem in Judah, who was staying within the clan of Judah. The man left the town of Bethlehem in Judah to stay wherever he could find a place. On his way, he came to Micah's home to the hill country of Ephraim. 'Where do you come from?' Micah asked him. He answered him, 'I am a Levite from Bethlehem in Judah, and I'm going to stay wherever I can find a place.' Micah replied, 'Stay with me and be my father and priest, and I will give you 4 ounces of silver a year along with your clothing and provisions.' So the Levite went in and agreed to stay with the man, and the young man became like one of his sons. Micah consecrated the Levite, and the young man became his priest and lived in Micah's house. Then Micah said, 'Now I know that the Lord will be good to me, because a Levite has become my priest.'" Judges chapter 17. Short and not sweet. Pardon me. That verse 6, "In those days there was no king in Israel. Everyone did whatever seemed right to him." If you're a Bible reader, the way they phrase that might sound a little different in the CSB, but it's still the same idea. Everyone did whatever seemed right to him. And we look at this and we shake our head, but we need to take that as a warning. Micah and everything that was going on here, there's no indication that they thought they were doing anything wrong. They were just that far off and that far removed. And I, in my own arrogance, especially as a guy that's been reading the Word for about 40 years now, I can easily assume I've got it down, assume that I'm thinking correctly all the time, or most of the time except for a few moments here and there, and the paths I go down are sound paths. And I don't know how often we take that verse in Judges, and it's going to pop up again later, and really examine ourselves with it and say, what kind of things can be going on in my life where I'm doing whatever seems right, whatever seems right to me. It's very concerning to me when I see people talk about various things, like their idea of what God is, and my God's a God of love, and he would not be like this. And I'm not just talking outside the faith. I'm not talking outside the church. I'm talking Christians who say that. They read something in the Word, or a doctrine rubs them wrong, and they say, I believe in a God of love, and my God wouldn't be like that. And the problem for them and for me and for you, for all of us, is that we're still on the wrong side of glory. I'm still fallen. I'm still sinful. My judgments aren't always correct. And even when I say not always, that almost makes it sound like, yeah, most of the time I got it right. And even that's a bad assumption. I'm in need of constant correction, constant redirection. My flesh is always looking to pull me off, and not in massive ways. The enemy, I believe, if you read the Screw Tape Letters from Lewis, can really help. We tend to, we Hollywood, a lot of us Americans Hollywood everything. And we think the enemy wants to do big things. He wants us to get involved in big sins. He wants to get me into affairs and ruin my marriage. And of course, he is fine with that. He wants me to become a heroin addict. Of course, he's fine with that. He would love for that stuff to happen. But he also knows the reality. It's just like, okay, he's a follower of Christ. He's solid. He's not probably going to do those things. But if I can get him 1 degree off, and then make him go 1,000,000 miles in that 1 degree off, I can get him into some places that I want him, but I don't want him to be. And I think that's so much more how the enemy works. And when I'm that 1 degree off and going there, that 1,000,000 miles in that direction, that by the time I get 1,000,000 miles out, I'm way off course. I'm doing everything that seems right to me. And we have to beware. This is called Christian anthropology, a Christian doctrine, man. We have to really understand our nature. Even those of us that have been redeemed for a long, long time, we are not safe just to always go with our assumptions. It's why it's important to be in the Word every day. It's important to be in prayer every day. It's important to be in a fellowship, to be involved in church, not be a lone wolf. Lone wolf is a place to get off. And I understand that's hard for people sometimes. Some people have been hurt by the church. I get it. I do. I mean, I haven't lived through it personally, but I'm close to people that have been hurt. And so I understand that. But we do need to get over that huddle. We need to be around others. And we need to be in the Word. We need to be in prayer. Because if we don't, if I'm left to myself, I'm just going to go into bad places. I'm going to do whatever seems right in my eyes. And it's easy, it really is easy for us to twist the Word when we're going against it. We can't take these things for granted. We can't take our spiritual health, our right path for granted. So as we are going through Exodus 17, this is an unplanned discourse. I didn't plan on this, but that verse just jumped out at me. And as I read Scripture, I don't like to read Scripture with it's so easy to do this, read this passage and say, oh man, that applies. John could really use that verse, or Mary could really use that verse, or that passage. The main thing we want to do as we read the Word is turn that thing as a mirror onto us. And so we read a verse like Judges 17:6, and how often do we apply that to ourselves? Everyone did whatever seemed right to him or to her. So however it was phrased in there. These are things we need to be cautious about. So even though this is a tough chapter, tough portion of the book, there are still valuable lessons for us as we go through it. So thanks for watching. If you just listen, for people that just listen to the chapter, I'm glad they're here. For those that listen to me ramble a little bit, thank you for hanging in there and listening to me. Pray that you have a wonderful day, and we hope to see you tomorrow.